It's Nobel. So today I am talking about Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets book versus movie. So I want to start. I'm probably gonna skip some because the there's like a lot of little ones that aren't that big of a deal that it's done differently. It really didn't matter. There are big ones though too. So I'm mostly hitting the big ones because guys, let me tell you. And I mean, if you're watching this, you probably know. But when it comes to the fifth book versus movie, I'm going to have such a long video, and that's going to be hitting all the important stuff because I feel like there's so many inconsistencies or things that change. Anyways, so book versus movie, here's some of the bigger ones. So I want to start with in the first scene, and this doesn't make sense to me. In the first scene, you see in the movie, you see Harry using Lumos and like the light to do his homework, and to use it as a light. In the book, he uses a flashlight, and I mean this doesn't make sense because they're not allowed to use magic. He gets in trouble for magic later, and they might say in presence of a Muggle, but he wasn't allowed to use magic at all. It didn't make sense to why that happened. So that's my first big pick with the movie. I don't know why they did that. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't even make sense in the movie either. But yeah, so that doesn't happen in the book. The next one is when in the movie, the cake is dropped on Mr. Vernon's boss's wife's head. Like Dobby drops it on the head. In the book, he just drops it on or like uses his magic to drop it on the floor. It's not, it doesn't, it's not because it was dropped on her head. And then they leave because the wife has a fear of birds, and like the owl comes in to give the letter, and that's when they like leave because they were freaked out. It's not because they get mad with the cake dropping on the head. Okay. The next one. Ron and the twins go to get Harry because of um because Ron, their dad, is told about, like, because he works in the ministry, he's informed about Harry using magic, and that is why the boys go to get him because they think something's wrong. It's not because he wasn't sending any messages or anything, letters. It was because of that. And when they go to get him, his books are like locked in somewhere. They're locked up, and the twins go down and get it, and they don't use magic to get it because they can't. They just um that's why they have they learn Muggle stuff because they said it's very handy sometimes. I think that's in both the movie and the book, but I know he just like has his schoolwork stuff in Hedwig. And they actually leave Hedwig at first um at the um why am I blanking on the word? At the house. That's how Vernon wakes up. Okay. So that's how they find out. That's how they. So, skipping ahead, and I know I'm skipping some of the inconsistencies. When they are um, when they're, go to Diagon Alley, which, I mean, here he goes to the other Nocturne Alley, and all that stuff happens, and that is a little different in that I think he was in the store already, Blocks and Burts, Blurs and Blurts. I get it. I mispronounce it a lot. I can't remember. Um, Flourish and Blitz. That sounds right. Still sounds a little off. Anyways, he's already in there when the Malfoy comes in and does the whole thing. Anyways, so in it, Hermione, so they meet Hermione there, and in the book, she's with her parents, and Mr. Weasley loves the parents, and he wants to like talk to them about all the Muggle things because he loves Muggles. In the movie, you never see Hermione's parents until the last movie, or the second last movie. But yeah, in the book, they're in there a few times. They go to Diagon Alley. But yeah. So, then in the bookstore, Lucius and Mr. Weasley in the book, they use tense words and they like kind of argue in the movie. In the book, when that happens, they actually get into a fight. Like they punch and they get into a fight. But yeah, so that one happens, and then there's more stuff with Lockhart and everything, but we're gonna skip ahead to the scene where Malfoy, so the Slytherins and the Gryffindors are both wanting to use to practice, and that whole thing happens. And in the book, or in the movie, and in the book, this part happens. So Draco calls Hermione a mudblood. And then Ron says the eat slug spell. It hits him. He's the one throwing up slugs, so they go to Hagrid's. So then in the book, Hermione doesn't know what mudblood means. Like, she gets that it's offensive because the way he said it, but she's like, I don't know, like, what. She doesn't know what that means. She doesn't understand why Ron went at that so hard to say mudblood and to do the eat slugs thing after he said it. Ron's the one who explains it at Hagrid's. And I mean, Hagrid knew, but it's explained by Ron. So another thing, they give Hermione instead of Ron. So another thing, which I really, I think they just didn't do it because of showing all the ghosts. But in the book, Nearly Headless Nick asks Harry to go to his 500th anniversary of his death on Halloween night. That is why the three of them miss the feast, and why they find the Mrs. Norris first, because they went to the Nearly Headless Nick's party. And that is when Ron and Harry are introduced to Moaning Myrtle. She's actually at the party. Hermione already knew her, but yeah, that's when you actually meet her. So, then, in the film, McGonagall's the one who tells them about the Chamber of Secrets when Hermione asks. In the book, it's Professor Binns. He's the History of Magic teacher and the only ghost teacher. And I don't think he's ever in the films. I know he's not. But yeah, McGonagall's the one who explains it in the book, or in the movie. In the book, it's Professor Binns. That one's not really important, but when they're playing Quidditch, Slytherin versus Gryffindor, Draco doesn't notice the snitch at all in the film. They race for it. Well, no, that's not. In the film, I think they did it the same. I put it down, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure I completely remember what the difference was because I wrote something down, but that's not accurate. It must have been something else. Okay, but anyways, so in the book, when still the same Quidditch game, there's one rogue boulder going against Harry. It's like just going against him, and it's a rogue bludger. But um, and it's like I think like everyone notices that it's going after him, and but only some people kind of notice, and they don't want to, and they explain why they don't want to like claim for because they'd have to forfeit if they say it's does it if they say it's been tampered with. Anyways, in the book, the rogue boulder is Bull Bludger is put back in the case by like three. I think it's both the twins and another person. Like they work together to get it back in. In the film, Hermione destroys it. Okay, then we go to when they are trying to make the potion. The when they're trying to make the potion, so a few different things happen. Um, One, they need so the way to make it, they need to know in the movie, it's just the book section in the library. In the book, it's in the restricted section, and Hermione gets Lockhart to sign a permission form for them to get it. So she's sneaky in that sense. And then one of the ingredients they need is from Snape's is in Snape's cupboard. Like they don't have any Snape's office. They have no way of getting it themselves as students, which they can get some, but not like because they're allowed to do stuff, but they're not allowed to make that, so they can't get all the ingredients. One of them's in Snape's office, and Hermione, she, Ron or Harry makes a distraction so she can sneak in and get it. And then also when they are when they drink the potion in the book, their voices also change into the person, like they get their voice. In the movie, they don't. They have to like adjust it themselves, I guess. But yeah, in the book, the voices just change. So, and then um, that's said in both. Sorry, my list is a little off because some of these things did happen in both. Okay. Also something that I feel like is important in this one, because it kind of sets up for next year. They're allowed to pick some of their classes for the next year, for third year, which that's important for next book, but it's not shown in the movies, it's only in the book. But it's very important in both the book and the movie and the next one. Also, in the book, Ginny tries to tell Ron and Harry that something's up. Like throughout the book, she seems guilty. Um, you can tell like things are going on, and with her. And in the movie, they don't really play it up. Like, I think maybe one point you think something's weird with her. But in the book, it's like the whole book. And they're just like, oh, it's because it's her first year away from home and everything. No, it's like she feels guilty and she tries to talk about it a couple times and never gets it out. Okay. So, um, and So going to the fight with the Basilisk. And I know I am skipping other things that were different from book versus movie, but I'm skipping them. I'm just going to go to other ones that I find interesting or important. But if you want to comment down below the other inconsistencies, you can. Totally fine. I might even put some in the comments myself. So, in the book, um, in the book, the why am I blinking on the name? So when they're fighting the basilisk, one, it does not last as long as it seems like it doesn't last that the fight doesn't actually last that long. Um, and the and the phoenix. So in the book, Harry. Hold on, just a second. Okay, so in the book, the when the hat is there while he's fighting the basilisk. So Phoenix brings in the hat, drops it. In the movie, the sword ends up just appearing. Maybe when he asks for help, I think it just ends up appearing. I think he asks for help later. In the book, Harry puts the hat on his head and the sword drops on his head. Like he feels it, and so he takes it off, grabs the sword. Then, also, the Phoenix heals Harry with his tears. In the movie, he does it after Rudolph's gone and everything. In the book, he does it while they're still fighting. Okay, so then at the end of the year feast, Gryffindor wins. That's not wins the House Cup. It's not really mentioned in the film. And then when they're leaving, the five of Harry, Ron, Hermione, Fred, George, and Ginny. Okay, so six. Six of them share a train together home, and Harry gives them the phone number at the train station. As they're walking out, and in the movie, they don't show the journey home at all. Yeah, I guess they don't. But yeah, and he gives them the phone number, and that's also important for next year. So yeah, those are some of the bigger Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets movie to book differences. I know there are more. I know probably some of those didn't even seem important, and maybe I did miss some important ones. I felt like I put in the ones that, ow, I was thinking of and that I hear about a lot, like when people are like, oh, this didn't make sense in the movie, this didn't make sense in the movie, and it's like, well, read the book. So yeah, those are some of the differences. And the third book versus movie should be coming out soon. Please like and subscribe for more videos. Comment down below if there's other book versus movies you want me to do. I am obviously doing all of the Harry Potters. As I finish reading each one, I will make the videos. I have finished the third book. I have not even started the fourth, so that'll be a little bit till the fourth one comes. But the third one should be coming out soon. Comment down below if there's other books and book versus movies you would like me to do.